1966, Windham Hill, Brazil. Two men are found laying side by side in the grass. And no, that's not a hangover story. It's a real mystery. They are wearing expensive suits, waterproof coats, and these masks. There is no blood, no sign of struggle, no weapon. There was just this note laying beside their bodies. Listen closely to the protocol.
1630, be at agreed place. 1830, swallow capsules. After effect, protect metals, await signal.
Protect metals, await signal? The police called it suicide pact. The public called it a cult, but they were both wrong. This wasn't a ritual. This was an experiment, and the subjects did not survive the data collection. To understand the death, you must understand the man. Manuel Pereira de Cruz and Miguel José Viena. They weren't madmen. They were not mystics chanting in the woods. They were electronic technicians. They spent their lives fixing television sets. They understood voltage. They understood frequencies. They understood that the air around us is filled with invisible waves carrying out information. If you have the right receiver, you catch the signal. If you don't, silence. On August 17th, they left their hometown. They told their families they are going to buy electronic parts and a car. They carried a large sum of money, around 3 million cruzeiros. Witnesses saw them in Niterói. They bought waterproof raincoats even though the sky was clear. They also bought a bottle of mineral water. They kept the receipts. Rational men, keeping the receipts, preparing for the weather. They took a jeep to base on Windham Hill. And then they began to climb. It was getting dark. They were walking into the void. The last thing they did, they checked their watches. They had a schedule to keep. 1630, agreed place. Who or what have they agreed to meet? 3 days later, a boy flying a kite found their bodies. The police arrive and the scene defies logic. The terrain is rough, but men are laying on their backs, perfectly composed. Shoulders touching, hands resting by their sides. The money? Still in the pockets. If this was a robbery, the thief was really incompetent. If this was a murder, the killer left no trace. But here is the detail that keeps me awake. The waterproof coats. It was raining all night. A torrential downpour. But the ground under their bodies was dry. Do you understand? They lay down there even before it started raining. So they put on these coats, these masks, and lay down to wait. They knew the storm was coming, or perhaps they knew they were waiting for will cause the storm. The autopsy? Useless. The organs were too decomposed. No poison was found, but looking for the poison is looking for a human weapon. I don't think human killed them. I think they walked into the room filled with gas and forgot how to breathe. This wasn't their first attempt. 2 months prior, at Atafona Beach, Manuel and Miguel were involved in explosion. Massive explosion. A test run. Witnesses say they saw a blinding light and heard a boom that shook the windows in the town. When asked about it, men said they were testing equipment. They were part of the group Scientific Spirituals. Just think about it. Scientific spiritualism. They believed the spirit world wasn't magic. They believed it was just another frequency. Like a radio station you can't quite tune in. But if you build a stronger antenna, you can bridge the gap. They weren't trying to summon a ghost. They were trying to dial a phone number. And the notebook tell us the cost of the call. Swallow capsules? Why? To induce a trance? To lower the heart rate? Or was it a buffer? If you are about to expose yourself to a high energy event, you perhaps must alter your blood to survive it. After effect, protect metals. This is the key. Why lead masks? Lead doesn't block spirits. Lead doesn't block demons, but it blocks radiation. Lead also blocks light. If you stare at welding torch, you're gonna be blind. If you stare at nuclear blast, your retinas burn. Whatever they were meaning, they expected it to be bright, blindingly bright. That night, August 17, while our technicians lay on the hill waiting for the signal, residents in the area reported seeing a luminous orange object hovering over Windham Hill, an unidentified flying object. Now look at the note again. Protect metals. High electromagnetic fields destroy electronics. If a craft descends, emitting massive magnetic interference, it would wipe their watches. It would fry their equipment. They were told to protect the metals. Here is my theory. They made contact. They received instructions. They went to the hill. They took the capsules to survive the proximity. They put on these masks to save their eyes. The craft arrived. The orange light descended, but something went wrong. Perhaps the dosage of the capsules was too high, or perhaps the radiation from the signal was stronger than lead could stop. They didn't die of a heart attack. They died of exposure to something that doesn't belong here. They call it a mystery. I call it a tragedy of engineering. They treated the unknown like a certain bird. They thought if they followed the manual, if they wore the safety gear, they would be safe. But when you try to bridge the gap between our world and theirs, you are not a scientist. You are a lab rat. 1630, agreed place. They kept their appointment. The question is, did the visitors keep theirs? And what did they take from those men in exchange for the silence?